What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Rice Rocketeer. Thanks for tuning in. Today's video is all about the gear, guys. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my switch from the GoPro Hero 11 Black to the DJI OSMO Action 5 Pro with the wireless mic. I'll tell you a little bit about why I decided to make the decision in the first place, how the transition process was, and then lastly, the settings that I use both for the audio and the visual so you guys can get as close to what I'm going to post today if you like it. So stick around. All right, guys, so I want to start this video with kind of a disclaimer. This video is not to shit talk DJI or to say that the camera is not worth it. The DJI OSMO Action 5 Pro. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it Action 5 Pro. That's it. The name is too long, marketing team, if you're watching. Too long. It's not to put the camera down. It's just to set your expectations correctly. Because if you're like me and you're watching this video because you are a motorcycle rider and you want to capture your rides, or you're a moto vlogger, you're an intense moto vlogger, you've been watching a lot of videos of influencers who tell you that the whole process is super easy. The wireless mic you can stick in your helmet and you'll get great audio. You stick it in your pocket, your backpack, whatever the case, super easy, right? Well, that is not the case. I went through a week and a half of trial and error. I shot twice a day with different setups. Not once did I get a good result. I put the camera in my back pocket, I wrapped it in socks, I put it in my chest pocket, I put it in my helmet. I've tried almost everything and I still cannot figure out how to get the wireless mic to capture good audio of my voice or of ambient noise. So I've since reverted back to my old separated system of using my trusty Tascam DR-05X for my voice and using the camera with some adjustments and setup to capture the ambient noise. So I'm back to my old setup of audio, which was a little disappointing because I bought the camera primarily for the audio capabilities while riding my motorcycle. But that's not to say that the camera doesn't do other things wonderfully, and you will see that in the footage. I personally was primarily focused with the audio, but I'm very glad to have made the switch. So I'm going to tell you a little bit, the couple reasons that I left GoPro, how the Action 5 Pro addresses those problems very well. And then I'm going to show you some failed footage from the week. And then I'm going to end with the good footage, the good place, the place that I ended up after all of this struggle. And I'm going to tell you about the settings that I use and the equipment that I use to make your footage look like this footage. So as for the GoPro, I've long been a fan of GoPro. I've had GoPro for about 10 years. I've had different cameras, and I've always had problems with GoPro, but they haven't really been problems because I haven't been posting at the rate that I do now. I post 3 times a week, and at that rate, I need the camera to be dependable. I need it to be sturdy, and I don't want to have to go back and reshoot. I don't want to have to waste time doing that because I have a life and I have a job. So with the GoPro, I was dropping footage about once a week. For some reason, it would always be the best part of the ride. Like I would get back and I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to see this part. And the footage would just be gone. And I guess the camera overheated. That was incredibly frustrating. And a couple times, 3 or 4 times throughout a year, I'm like, okay, fine. Every week, now it's a problem. So I knew that I wanted something more dependable. I also wanted a camera that has a better battery life than the GoPro. The GoPro lasted me about 40 minutes on the settings that I had. And so I would ride around with 4 different batteries, which I had to switch out. I'd have to pull over to the side of the road. And then to compound this, the media mod and the way that the camera mounts on the helmet makes it a multi-step process to change the batteries out. So it was not only was it an inconvenience, but it was a lengthy inconvenience at that. I wanted a camera with much better battery life. So the the Action 5 Pro, as we're calling it, addresses both of those things really, really well. And those 2 things I was very satisfied with. So the battery, I got I think it was a Creator combo. It comes with 2 extra batteries, so 3 batteries total with the little charging case. I have never used the second 2 batteries, and I've shot every single day. 1 battery has been enough to last me every ride that I've taken, except for one, but that ride was 2.5 hours, so, you know, that's fair. Yeah, the battery life on this camera is wonderful, and the dependability, I've yet to drop a single frame. I haven't dropped any shoot. I've had captured everything. So I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with the video quality of the Action 5 Pro. There's so much to play around with, which I'll get into in the next segment. But overall, other than the audio, I'm very happy with the Action 5 Pro. The audio, I wouldn't say that I'm only disappointed with the audio because of the expectation that has been set by everybody online and by the product description, right? So the mic works wonderfully for shoots like this, and when I'm walking around actually and it's slightly windy, it does a really good job of capturing my voice. I'm surprised. It's really nice how easily the mic connects to the camera, and so when you're shooting, right now I'm shooting on the Pocket 3, which is the camera that made me want to switch over. If I set my camera down and I walk away from it, it keeps connected and it will stay connected. And turn the camera off and on, it will reconnect very quickly. So overall, the microphone is great. It's just for the express purposes of capturing my voice in the helmet or for capturing the motorcycle sound itself. That did not live up to the hype. So I wouldn't say that the audio didn't live up to what I expected it. Well, it didn't live up to my dreams, which I guess might be kind of unfair to expect of a brand. So I'm going to show you some footage now of the different setups I tried and failed with from different days, various days. And I'll put the description at the bottom of what the setup was so you know if I tried it or not. So let's go.
Let's see if these pigeons fly. Sometimes there's a little popo over here, so keep it semi-decent. I am exhausted of trying new audio setups. I have 2 dead cats on this microphone. It is tucked away under the pad in my right cheek. So this is the audio and video quality as of this video, guys. There's still a little bit of tweaking I gotta do, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy. I'm satisfied. After my week of hell, my week of freaking out that maybe I would have to backtrack and go back to GoPro, I finally figured it out, and I've gotten it to this point. So for me, again, like I said, the most important thing about this camera was that the shooting process is simple, and it wasn't looking that way for a minute, but I am glad that I'm back on track. It's not as simple as I wanted it to be, because I ended up going back to my audio recorder, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the video quality is immensely better than the GoPro. The amount of options, the flexibility that you have in post is drastically more than you have with GoPro, at least to my knowledge. So those benefits definitely warrant the change for me. So I am happy with my choice. So I'm gonna run through what my setup is, and you know, how I get this quality video and audio, starting with the audio, because that was the big one. That was the really difficult part. And so, as I said, I ended up going back to my external audio recorder that I have in my pocket right here, and that's wired into my mic separately than the camera. So I really want to be able to have crisp, clear audio, but also be able to capture the sound of the exhaust. When I plugged it directly into the camera, it compresses everything into one file. So if there's a really loud noise, or if there's a ton of wind, you just don't know, and it's baked in to the actual file, so you're kind of screwed for editing. There's only so much you can do, but if you have them as separate files, you have a lot of flexibility. So I have my external recorder in my pocket. It is the Tascam DR-30, I believe it's 30, and it's really simple. It was like $100, and the thing has lasted me forever. I've dropped it tons of times, and it works great. All the settings are pretty much straight out of the box. The only thing that I changed to it is, because the microphone is in my helmet and like right in my mouth, I changed the input level to 1. So it is about as low down as you can get. And that's because I don't want you picking up breathing or having the microphone peak every time it still peaks sometimes. So it just is what it is, and I'm sure a higher quality lav mic would probably fix that problem. But as for the recorder, it is pulling in audio at the lowest possible level, and that's what you want. So that's how I capture my voice. Now, it still captures some of the exhaust noise, just because I have a loud exhaust, and some wind noise if I get going really fast. But for the most part, for segments like this right now, it's great. The lav mic that I use is the one that like everybody uses, is the purple Panda microphone. I have all these links, by the way, down in the description. They're all affiliate links, so if you decide to buy any of this stuff, please use the links, because it would greatly help the channel. It's a cheap mic. It's like $35, and you get 2 lavalier microphones with 2 sets. You have a dead cat, and then the fancy looking dead cat, just the regular microphone covers, and it comes with the adapter. That's most important, because you cannot plug the lavalier mic directly into the unit. You have to have a little adapter. So it comes with everything you need, and for $35 to have 2 microphones, I got 2 helmets, it's perfect. So that's what I'm using right now. I'm sure I could find a better lav mic, and I will work on that in the future. That's one of those tweaks I was talking about. Not absolutely necessary, but probably would enhance the channel. So as for the camera and how I set up the camera, because I use the camera to capture all of this ambient noise, and then I have for my voice the lavalier microphone. For the camera itself, I settled on getting this fuzzy thing. Link is in the description. They are $10 for 2, $10 for a pair. Now this thing makes your camera look like a little stuffed animal, but it's great. Now, the DJI camera itself, I believe, has 2 to 3 microphones. One's on the top, one's on the bottom, and one's on the side. I think that's the setup. This camera picks up wind like no other. And it makes sense, you know, if you're traveling at 40 miles an hour, you're going to catch wind. But I found that this camera picks up wind even at like this speed, at like 25 miles an hour. It was pretty excessive. Now there is wind reduction. Here we go. So right now, for an example, I can switch over to the exhaust sound. It's nice being able to switch between the two. Back to the topic. The wind reduction only works with this fuzzy thing. It by itself, because the wind noise is so high, and you're trying, and maybe it's my exhaust being high as well, but there's a lot of different sounds competing for the front and center, right? So when you put the wind reduction on, it reduces. I'm not a sound guy. I don't know quite how it works, but it reduces the I think the bottom level and maybe the top level. I don't know. But it reduces everything. So you end up with this kind of like gurgled mess of like half exhaust that dips in and out, and the wind is kind of like catching the higher frequencies of wind but not the lower, and then it switches. So it ends up like a mess of audio. So by itself, like maybe walking around, it works great. But in terms of doing what I'm trying to do, which is motovlogging, doesn't work without this fuzzy thing capturing, deflecting most of the wind. Here we go. So the two really work in tandem, and I did many different tests throughout the week, and I found that having this wind muffler thing on the front and setting it to wind reduction level 2, or whatever the top one is called, works really well. You still hear a little bit of buffeting, like you probably heard it in that little pull, but for the most part, you can hear the exhaust really clearly, and that's something that I liked about the GoPro Media mod, which is why I was considering going back to GoPro, because it was so perfect and so easy. You snap the thing on, and you can select what microphone from the media mod you're using, the front or the back. And if you select the back, it really just captures what's behind you. It so happens to be on the right side, which is my exhaust, so it was perfect. You could hear the gurgles, you could hear the pops, you could hear all the little details that most of you guys want to hear from the bike. So this is close to that. It's still not quite as good, but it really does do the job for me, and I'm satisfied with the quality of audio. So you let me know in the comments below what you guys think. But I really enjoy it. So I am really happy that I figured that out, because I did not want to switch back. So that's my audio setup, guys. The wireless mic just didn't do it for me, and I gotta tell you, I'm really pissed at all these influencers. Pissed at myself for even approaching believing them. But everyone says, oh, you just take the mic to set it to negative 12 decibels and you'll be all good. You can put the mic in your back pocket, you can put it in your backpack, and it works fine. Well, when I put it in my back pocket, it blew out. When I put it in my backpack, all I heard was the bag moving around. Now, there's many different factors, and I could have kept futzing around for like the better part of a week or two. You know, I could have gotten a different backpack. I tried wrapping it in a sock and putting it in the backpack. Tried putting it in a sock, put it in my different pockets, my pants pockets. But it shouldn't be that difficult. Everyone made it seem much more simple, and for something that costs that much extra, you know, these influencers, they just say whatever the hell they want to say. If you're considering getting the DJI Action 5 Pro and the wireless mic, either the mini or the 2, to make your life easier, know that it takes some work, and I never got to that sweet point where that mic setup worked for me. It also didn't work in my helmet. I could have gotten a different helmet to see if it was the helmet, but you know, I don't want to do that. So it's great for when you're walking around and you want to step away from the camera and you want to still talk. Not so great for motovlogging, in my opinion. Fucking influencers, guys. bunch of sellouts. By the way, use my affiliate links. So for the video, guys, and this will change because I'm just constantly playing around with them, but this footage right here. I'm going to tell you what this footage is set to right here, and if you like it, then great. If not, then change it up. So I shoot at 4K 30. I played around with 60, and it looks, I don't know if it looks better. It looks cleaner, it looks crisper, but I like that little bit of motion blur. I like that feeling of motion. So I'm keeping it at 30 for the moment. I shoot my shutter speed is 60. So I think your shutter speed should be roughly double what your aperture is. Or, sorry. Ooh, got a little distracted. It should be roughly double the number. And that's what I'm keeping it at. I don't want it any quicker. I don't really need to capture crazy things that happen because I think this is good enough. I don't know. It's just my personal preference. I think it looks really good this way. So that's where I'm keeping it. Now, on the camera, if you swipe over from the right, you end up with more settings. If you hit Pro mode, then you get all these extra settings. And for that, I'm gonna put them up on the screen, but these are gonna be kind of out of order here. Picture color, I believe it's called, I put at vivid. Image adjustment, I put at -1, -1. So that's sharpness and smoothing or grain. I like to remove a little bit of that just because I think the camera it's a little excessive in the amount of AI work that it does. So I don't like that. I could do it in post if I really, really want to. Let's see what else is over there. Oh, I forgot to mention this. This is on like the resolution screen, but in terms of like image stabilization, there's off, Rocksteady Plus, and then like horizon leveling. I keep mine on Rocksteady because anything above Rocksteady punches the image in a little bit and it cuts your frame. So I really, you know, I want as wide of a frame as I can get, so I don't like doing Rocksteady Plus. Plus, I don't really need it. But back to the side screen, guys. Image stabilization. Or wait, is it image stabilization? Yeah, image stabilization I put to sport. I can't quite figure out how that's different than the Rocksteady stuff, but the combination of the two, Rocksteady and sport, has made it kind of nice. Like I just like that combination. I can't exactly explain why, but that's the setting that I have it on. What else? I'm forgetting one. Oh, the big one. Exposure. Guys, I have this set to a manual. So the ISO I put to, so once you go into manual, it has the option in the ISO area of putting it to auto. So like auto within manual. You can kind of set the range. I put the ISO at automatic, maximum 800, and that's even a little high for what I like. But I found that in areas like this, I couldn't really see anything. Even here, couldn't really see much, so I set it at maximum 800, and that way it adjusts so I don't have to. Shutter speed, again, I put at 1/60th, which is double the frame rate. I am keeping it at those settings for the time being. Just because I seem to be getting good results. So it might change. I might move up to 60 frames per second. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see, what you prefer. I know there's like a big divide on that. Like some people like the cinematic, some people don't. I like the cinematic. So I'm going to keep it that way for now. The thing I'll say about DJI is that it is kind of designed to the person who wants to play around in post, who wants the most options, who wants to be able to create beautiful cinematic footage. So if you are the type of person who wants to shoot and post and that's it, I mean, it's not that this camera isn't the camera for you, it's that you will want to set everything on auto and you'll want to kind of not use all the features that this thing has to offer. I wouldn't say go, you know, like, I'm not necessarily saying don't do it because you can find a cheaper option that does less. It's just not the case. It's actually, the DJI, the Action 5 is actually, and the Action 4 is actually at a very good price. So like for the price, it's a very, very competitive price for the other action cameras out there, and it provides a lot more. So you have the option to go that route later on should you become interested. But you really want to, you know, you kind of want to dumb it down a bit for yourself to make it as easy as possible, because, oh, this is one of the settings I forgot to tell you. So there's different, I guess it's like color, it's different quality, different bit rates. There we go, the bit rates. That's super important. So there's normal 8-bit, normal 10-bit, like HLR 10-bit, and then D-Log 10-bit. So starting at normal is normal, it's just basic. And that, getting back to the point of if you just want to shoot and post, that's the setting you want to be on. You know, normal 8-bit is all you're going to need. It kind of just makes it easy. It's like plug and play. Normal 10-bit captures a bit more information from the image so that you can play around with it after the fact. HLR, I believe, captures a wider range of colors, so if you really want to mess around with the colors, it gives you even more capability to do so. And then D-Log is like on crack apparently, and I was shooting a D-Log for a little bit, but it proved too much because I spent a lot of time editing the audio. I did not want to spend time editing the footage. I just wanted it to look good. So currently I'm shooting at normal 10-bit, just so I have the option to bump some colors or pull them back. But I don't use the D-Log mode, which everyone says you should use. I don't need it. I don't want it. So if you are the person who likes to shoot and post, and that's it, and you want it easy, don't put it in D-Log, put it in normal 8-bit or 10-bit. That's a big recommendation for you simpletons, semi like myself out there. This camera really is designed for, you know, for people who want to play around. So, you know, you're getting a great camera, but you really have to keep that in mind, and you have to put in the work on the front end to simplify the camera, which is kind of a funny thought, that you have to do more work to keep it simple. But this camera wants you to play around with the audio, wants you to play around with the video, and for me, again, the audio I'll shell out for, I'll spend the time on, because it's really important to the channel, and I like being able to hear you. I like you being able to hear what I'm saying, but also I want the option to move that away and boost the sound of the exhaust so you can really feel the ride. That part's important to me more so than the visuals, because as long as, you know, it's 4K, I think you guys will have a good time. So, you know, just be careful with that. The GoPro audio being so simple on the GoPro was simple enough that it made me want to go back after this, but I really hated the idea because, oh shit, Christ. A little thrust in action. Yeah, I hated the idea because I know that this is such a great camera, so I really didn't want to give it up. But I'm glad I stuck it through, and I found the proper amalgamation of settings. I'll put them all up on screen right now, audio and video, so that you guys can kind of soak that in. Pause the screen, write it down, I guess, if you like the footage. If you don't, then click out of this video.
So that is my end product, guys. That's my takeaway. After a week and a half, an arduous week and a half of trial and error, guys, this is the quality of video and audio that I've ended up with. I am quite satisfied. Although I'm not satisfied with the fact that I didn't get to make my life any easier in terms of production, I'm happy with the video quality. The audio sounds great. In fact, contrary to what I said in the video, I think it sounds a little bit better than my old videos. So I'm really psyched about that. I hope you guys enjoy it. This video is dedicated to everybody who's complained about getting sick from watching my videos because of the obscene fisheye that GoPro has on their hyperview lens. I have now changed. I apologize, and it is a new day for the Rice Rocketeer, guys. So if you are not a subscriber and you made it this far in the video, come on. What's stopping you? Click the subscribe button and give this video a like if you like it. It greatly helps the channel. I put affiliate links in the description below for everything that I've talked about in the video. If you use those links, that also greatly helps me. So I would appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.